Hello, welcome to Indie Tutorials. My name is Guillermo and I would like to thank the patrons supporting this channel. Hello guys, before the final implementation of turn-based battles and the integration with Malbers Animal Controller, I wanted to go with an overview of the difference between the states that we have here in Animal Controller, modes and stances. So those are the three, I will say, animations that we can influence or modify with ORK Framework or ORK. So the main difference between them is that the states are animations that do not overlap each other. For example, when we are running, we cannot jump at the same time, or if we are flying, we cannot swim. On the other hand, modes are like actions. So when we pick up something, we attack, we dodge. So we could be flying and performing a dodge to evade an attack. The receive of the damage like a flint animation while we are running or walking. So these actions can overlap the states, no problem. And the stances are like, let's say, combat stance, not out of the battle stance, lock on to have a strafe movement and such. So what I wanted to show you here, if I were to open ORK, I've been already working on the UI setup for the turn-based battles, having the UI boxes, layouts, HUDs, what else, status system with the status values and so on and so forth. So almost done there, but what I wanted to show you is what we're going to do. So for example, we have here in the abilities we made last time for the real-time battles, the attack ability. This ability has battle animations. In this case we were calling this attack ability to enable the damage dealers, but for turn-based battles, the classic one, we are going to have an animation to move towards the enemy or the enemy towards the player. On the other hand, perform or call the animal script or component to play the attack mode, and then another animation to return to the original battle spot. Later on we are going to add a custom mode, let's say to cast magic or to drink a heal potion, so you can see how we can do it. But to do a quick test, what we can do is create the schematics, or let's start by, in the first place, go to the base control and create a couple of input keys. So let's add a new input key here, and let's call this one P key. Down below in the input ID, in input ID settings, we need to select here key code, and let's select the P key. Then let's add a new one, content information. Let's rename this one, let's say L key, something that is not being used already for from the animal controller, of course. And in the input settings, let's select the input origin to key code, and in the positive key let's select the L key from the keyboard, like so. Save the settings. So now that we have our input keys, we can go to the schematics, and from here let's add input So input key, and from the input key we are going to listen for our P key, and when we press the P key we are going to execute the pickup mode. So what we need to do here is call a function when the key is pressed. The function class name, or the component, the class name in the component will be animal or manimal in this case. If we go to the ping script asset, if you had inspector gadgets, you will see that the script actually is called manimal, but we can start typing here class name manimal, upper A, and the function name in this case, we are dealing with a mode, or we want to activate a mode, is going to be called mode underscore activate. It's asking us for an ID. The ID of the pickup mode is 7. We can see it here in this vector. So let's select here in the or click on add parameter. The parameter type is going to be integer and the value is going to be 7, like so. So the second input key we're going to do is to call, in this case, an state. So let's copy over this input key node that we have already. So in the fail with no input, let's bind it, and in this case, instead of the P key, we are going to listen for the L key, and we are going to call again a function, copy, in the manimal script, but instead of mode activate, we need to call a state activate. So let's type state activate. We already have the parameter with an int, but if we click on a state in the inspector, we can see, for example, we are going to call the death state. So if we were to click on the death state itself, and down below, where is the ID? We can see it here, priority. So let's select the asset in the asset folder, and okay, so the ID is 10. So in the call function, parameter 0, integer, and the ID will be 10. Alright, so now let's save the schematic. So episodes 010 schematics, and let's call this one Malbers test schematic. Okay, so now that we have our schematic, let me close ORK editor. We can go again to our hero prefab, and we are going to add a tick machine to it. So let's select the prefab, of course. Let's go to Window, Gameslov, Machinum Scene Wizard, and from here click on Add Machine. Actually, let's open up the prefab. So it is in the scene itself. Now let's go again, Gameslov, Machinum Scene Wizard, add machine, and let's select tick machine. So it will add to our prefab this tick machine. We want the start type to be on the update. Next we can select the schematic asset. So let's select our Malbers test schematic. We want the update to be on the update method, of course, and that should be it. So if we go back to the scene view and hit play, we select our hero prefab. We see that it still has the tick machine, so we can move around as before. Now if I press the P key, it performs the mode pickup. If I press the L key, it performs the death state. And this is how we are going to be calling the animations from the battle system. So the next video we are going to finalize this turn-based battle after I have all the setup done. I hope you enjoy it. See you on the next one.